Hello everyone, it's Jayska from Dominant Sticks YouTube channel. Welcome to my channel. If this is your first time here, you're welcome here. Let's get right into it. On today's video, I'm going to be going over this character here, an introduction to him. Some of y'all might know of him from movies and other horror video games, but he isn't allowed to be called that Freddy Krueger because of copyright issues. But this video game, Dead by Daylight, did buy into the character franchise. They just had to name him different. So on this video game, Dead by Daylight, on the killer side, he is called the Nightmare, and he is prestiged and leveled up at a level 4. And then I play on this person's Steam account, and I use all their other resources. That's how I have him dressed, and you do have to buy this character. You have to buy all the characters on the killer side or survivor side that isn't with the game, and you can't use iridescent shards to buy them with. You have to buy them with cash money. So there's where he is at on the chart of killers, and I've got him checked marked. Let's go into his bio now, and let's read it together. The Nightmare. Even while he lived, Freddy Krueger was a creature of nightmare for those who truly knew him. Hiding behind a mask of warmth and friendliness, Freddy's actual temperament was known only to his victims. When those victims were finally heard, the parents of Springwood tracked Freddy down and took the law into their own hands. They thought fire had rid them of a monster that night, that their children were finally safe, but evil as strong as his has a way of surviving. Years passed, the horror was buried, the victims mercifully forgot. Then somehow Freddy returned, and dreams became nightmares once again. Let me scroll this down so we can finish reading it. Freddy focused his anger on those he felt had wronged him, building up to his one true obsession, Nancy Holbrook. But he underestimated her strength and resourcefulness. Together with her friend Quentin, she managed to weaken Freddy, mutilating him and leaving him for dead once more. Death didn't want Freddy. The first time he encountered it, why did they think it would take him now? He emerged once more, consumed with vengeance. Then he turned his sights on the boy who had blocked his path to Nancy, his number one. Freddy invaded Quentin's dreams, terrorizing him night after night until his strength and defenses would be at their lowest. When the time was right, he forced the boy to return to the dark reflection of Badham Preschool. Here, he would have his final revenge. Freddy stalked the boy through the school's halls. He took his time, savoring every moment of the hunt. This was what he enjoyed the most, the smell of their sweet sweat in the air, the ragged grasp of their terrified breath. They were his to play with. There was the boy at the end of a long corridor, too tired and scared to run away anymore. Resigned to his fate, Freddy closed in, arms wide, claws raking the walls, their tips traced along a pipe. The metallic shrieking only added to the boy's apprehensive. A shower of sparks rained on the ground and into the liquid that covered the tiled floor. A blue flame blossomed and quickly engulfed the room. The boy took flight as Freddy burst from the flames in a fury. Rooms and walls raced past in a blur until they were in Freddy's basement. There would be no escape from here. Slowly, Freddy closed in on the boy. His fear was so strong now that Freddy could almost taste it. But his eyes burned with a defiant hatred that was almost admirable. Freddy drew back his claws. Then Freddy felt another presence with him, something old, powerful, and dark. A miasma enveloped him, and the only sensation was a sound like wooden beams flexing and creaking in the distance. The echoing of metal crushed against metal, something arcane and unknowable, halfway between language and pure terror. There was a moment of falling and spinning, and then Freddy was back in the school, but not his school. It looked the same, but it felt different. His powers were tempered in some ways and focused in others. The boy had gone for now, but other prey walked the hallways. Some would inconsequential, others would become his new favorites. All would fall before his claws. So that's the biography, the bio of the Nightmare or Freddy Krueger. The Nightmare is what they call him on this game, Dead by Daylight. Okay, now let's get into his perks. He's got Blood Warden. It's very rare because it's in the purple. As soon as an exit gate is open, Blood Warden is activated. The auroras of any survivors located within exit auroras are revealed to you once per match. Hooking a survivor while Blood Warden is active calls upon the entity to block both exit gates for all survivors for 60 seconds. This is my world, and you can't even ever leave Freddy Krueger. Fire Up. Very rare because it's in the purple. The increased pressure of losing your prey fills you with anger and gives you unsuspected motivation. Each time the survivors complete repairs on a generator, the fire open grows in power. For each generator completed, gain a 6% stackable buff that grants a speed bonus to picking up, dropping, vaulting, damaging generators, and breaking pallets and breakable walls for the remainder of the trial. Now, why don't you just effing die, Freddy Krueger? Remember Me. Very rare. When the session takes damage, gain 1 token up to 5. Other survivors open exit gates 30% slower for each token. You don't remember? You're my number 1, and you never wake up again, Freddy Krueger. Okay, let's look at his customizations. All I have for him on this person's game is just the original one, the one that he comes with when you buy him. I don't have another one, and that's what he's got on. Now let's look at his loadout. I hardly ever play Killer Side. I've only played Freddy like 1 time, or maybe like a few times, but I did, and I kind of enjoyed it, but I just don't enjoy playing Killer, and I don't know what perks to use on Freddy where I never play as Killer, so the only Killer I really play is Trapper. Anyways, this is what the perks that this person has on him, the owner to this account, and they only play this account whenever they're streaming, and they haven't streamed in months on Twitch. So what I do is I play Survivor side, and I put Killer points in on the Killer side, but I don't plan on leveling them or prestiging them past probably nowhere real high or nothing. So they'll probably always be low leveled. Now let's look at the Blood Wheel. the blood web looks like that on Freddy. Let's go back to where he's at on the chart, the killer chart. Okay, that was your introduction to Freddy. I appreciate those of you who have watched, and I'll talk to y'all and see y'all later. Thanks. Bye-bye. The Nightmare.